I'm Rachel Balven, and along with my co-authors here at Arizona State University, Virgil, Fenters, Don Siegel, and David Waldman, we wrote an Academy of Management Perspectives article on academic entrepreneurship that considers the microprocesses involved in technology transfer. By microprocesses, I mean variables that focus on the individual, and we specifically considered identity, motivation, championing behavior, education, work-life balance, and organizational justice. We looked at these variables because currently the overwhelming majority of research on academic entrepreneurs focuses on outcomes like number of licenses, patents, or spin-offs that originate from the university, which is very important research, but unfortunately a lot of the scholarship neglects to examine the more upstream aspect of academic entrepreneurship, which include the reasons why people engage or don't engage in technology transfer to begin with. So not only do we examine whether people engage in technology transfer or not, we examine how they engage in technology transfer. Essentially, there are formal means of commercializing your technology. This would entail following university procedures and going through a technology transfer office, but there are also informal ways of transferring technology. This is considered bypassing university policies. My co-authors and I learned more about the reasons as to why academic scientists transfer technology and how they do it. We did this via qualitative inquiry by conducting interviews with academic entrepreneurs as well as interviews with people who work at the university technology transfer offices. And these offices are essentially institutions that are housed by universities that are responsible for helping faculty to commercialize their inventions. So just as an example, motivation was one of the constructs we investigated. And we find that a lot of people are intrinsically motivated to engage in technology transfer. Specifically, a lot of the reasons cited were that these academic entrepreneurs want to help people, and that's why they want to commercialize. So for example, one faculty member we interviewed said, "So I think a lot about our motivation. We have a device that can help people. There are people dying in Africa from diseases we could treat, but we don't have the kind of assessment out there that's needed. So working on commercializing this invention, I think a lot of the motivation is just in that realm rather than trying to make money." So, this sentiment was fairly common, a fairly common theme throughout our interviews, but this intrinsic motivation is also a reason that academic entrepreneurs use to essentially justify in engaging in informal technology transfer and bypassing the university procedures. So I can give you another example of what I'm talking about with a quote. And this faculty member specifically is referring to their university's technology transfer office. "It's a lot about money. Sometimes faculty members feel like the technology transfer office wants their money. That's what it is to them. It's a business deal. And the people high up, they don't look at the faces of the faculty. They don't look at the small businesses. They say, oh, this will cost this and this will cost this, and that's it. That's what I've been told by a lot of people." And this sentiment was also mimicked by technology transfer personnel. So individuals who actually work in these offices, they essentially confirm this perception. So we interviewed one senior technology transfer office official, and with regard to what other offices do, this individual said, "Well, we're here to protect intellectual property and basically here to bring money to the university." So these sort of opposing forces between this intrinsic drive to commercialize technology in order to help people versus the sentiment that going through university channels might hinder their efforts because the university is only concerned with making money is just a snapshot of what part of our paper is about. So to wrap up, I want to acknowledge that the research we did was sponsored by a grant from the National Science Foundation, specifically the Science of Science and Innovation Policy Program. So we're especially grateful to them for believing in the importance of this research, and from this grant, as well as the research ideas cultivated from this paper I just talked about, my co-authors and I have additional research projects going on that I hope you will read about sometime in the future.